Welcome to episode 4 of the Canalta Hotel's AJHL Coaches Show. Today from the Grant Fuhr Arena in Spruce Grove, I'm Dave Dawson, joined by, aside from Spruce Grove coaches, probably someone who's spent more time in this rink than anyone else over the last nearly 10 years, the head coach and GM of the Brooks Bandits, Papaioannou. Paps, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
First off, I generally ask the coaches how they summarize the season so far, but I think it'd be suffice to say that your season from the outside looking in is going pretty well. From your eyes, how would you summarize the way the season's gone for Brooks so far?
Yeah, I mean, through 15 games, I think we have to be pretty happy. 14-1 after a debacle on the first night, and I think it was the best thing for us. I think our guys got an opportunity to learn what our league's all about and how hard a side like Drumheller can play, and really what it takes on a night-to-night basis. So exhibition didn't do that for us. The first night definitely did. Since then, we told our guys, if we learn something from this, it's a great night. If we don't, then it is a disaster, and we've learned.
I think it's safe to say the reaction across the league after that Game 1 loss was eyebrows raised. I remember shooting an episode the day after. Can you describe your reaction heading into the dressing room and how you'd wanted to approach the post-game chat?
It's tough. I didn't know how to approach the third period. It's a loss that we haven't been a part of before, so a learning curve for everybody. Definitely humbling for staff, players, everyone. And I think we went to it and said exactly what I said before: is we need to learn something from this, take it as an experience, and find a way to get better. And went back out the next morning, had a fairly hard, spirited practice, and we've moved on from there.
I, in episode 3, chatted with Bram Steven just about the idea of excellence. When I think of the Brooks Bandits for a number of years now, I think of excellence. What does that term exactly mean to you and your program?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's a pursuit of putting guys at the next level. We want to see guys move on and play Division I college hockey. And then part of that pursuit is finding the best players we can, and obviously we want to win. So I think when you get good players, guys that want to become better players and want to put in the time day to day, I think a byproduct is you're able to win hockey games. And for us, it's all started with people, the right families, and we've been fortunate enough to have good players and good families.
Now, we've kind of worked together for a number of years, and I remember chatting with you after the 2011-12 season in the Doyle Cup there, a loss at home, and I remember that conversation. You said something to the effect of, this is kind of where you want to eventually build your program to. Do you remember that conversation, and is that kind of where the shift happened for the program?
I think so. I mean, when I first started, there was programs like Grand Prairie, Spruce Grove at the time, Camrose, some of the best programs around, and I thought that there's no sense in trying to recreate anything. We needed to do what we could to learn from those places, those people, emulate their successes, and then try and work on it and build our own. And having a chance in the Doyle Cup to play against Penticton, we saw what a side from BC looks like, and tip of the hat to Fred Harbinson and what they've done there. And we said from day one we want to have a program like theirs, and we want it to be our own. We want it to have our own flavor, but if we can be something like that, it'd be pretty special.
The flavor of what the Brooks Bandits has become has been content creation, has been great at recruiting. How much of an emphasis does having a guy like Tyler King around and maybe some of the video production that goes on with the Bandits, how much does that provide an asset to your program?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. I think everything's changed since we were able to, well, it started with yourself. And then
I didn't mean to do the tip of the hat to myself there. That wasn't the intent for that, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I think the media side is huge. I think for prospective players to be able to actually see what's going on day to day, watch highlights, see film from the arena and the fan support and that kind of thing without actually having to get to our home games, it's huge for us. I think our reach is a lot bigger than we ever thought it could be, and like you said, it's all attributed to Tyler King, yourself, all the media that we've been able to do.
Now, you've coached a number of great players throughout the years, and guys like Cam McLeese, obviously Cale McCarr last season as well. Is there somebody that you look at throughout your career that was, I don't know if maybe a project guy is maybe the way to put it, but somebody that you can really hang your hat on and go, yeah, like this is kind of someone that I pat myself on the back and go, I'm happy where he has kind of ended up?
Yeah, I think there's always a lot of those types of guys. I think one that we have this year is Nathan Plessy, third-year player. He's our captain. He's a guy that we got from junior B in the AJHL, and he's steadily gotten better over the years. He's a big kid who's going to end up being a nice Division I hockey player, and the maturity on and off the ice, and now seeing him as a player that's able to take care of people, it's pretty special to see the development there.
Why do players want to play for you? What makes you a great coach? And why, if I were to put all your players together in a room without you in the room and without them knowing what they're saying, what would some of the players around you say about Ryan Papaioannou?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you, and probably don't want to know. I think we try and be open-minded with our guys. I think we try and give our guys input, and we try and play a style that players like to play. All of that with respect to having to play hard and having to defend. But we want our guys to play with the puck and have a good time while they're doing it. And that's a great question. I don't know if I can give you a better answer than that. I don't want to know the answer.
Your team has had a lot of success over the years. Is there one team that you look back over a number of years and kind of think, yeah, this team that year, I think we really achieved a number of the systems we tried to put in, regardless of the end goal of success, obviously 2012 RBC Cup or 2013. Is there a year you can look at and put a finger on?
No, there's been a number of good teams. I think the one that lost in Coburg in the RBC in the RBC final. I don't think we ever believed that team was as good as it was until we had to look back and. Geez, we start looking at highlights and some of the things that we wish we could do now, and we were pretty darn good. So I think it all kind of comes at you in the wave, and you don't really understand how good some of the groups were until you look back.
Well, we've talked about Nathan Plessy already. Is there, just kind of analyzing your roster, and for the sake of time, we've talked a lot to different coaches about top to bottom, goaltending, defenders, forwards. There are a couple of guys on this year's team that have kind of stepped up, and maybe some guys you're pushing to hit the next level this season?
Goaltending-wise, Pierce Charlson. We recruited him to come in and be a part of a tandem this year. At this stage, he's 13-0, and he's our starting goalie. So we had no idea that was coming. So a great surprise there. Our back end, Brandon Scanlon, he's kind of a leader back there with Luke Bast, and all those scans is out right now. The development of his game has been tremendous. Geez, up front, it's guys like Nathan Plessy, Jake Tice, Arno Vachon, guys who have been with us for 3 years, and from coming into the program as guys that played, minimal roles to where they are today, it's pretty special to see those guys take over the leadership.
So you have 19 players on your roster right now that are either 19 or 20 years old, obviously hosting the RBC Cup this year, a great opportunity there. Is it fair to say, well, maybe we won't go there yet. How do you challenge this team day in and day out to continue to hit the next level? I guess with a lot of veterans, it's probably a lot easier, is it?
Yeah, it's a good question. We have no experience hosting, so we didn't know exactly where it would all go. We've tried to talk as little as we can about May, although it's nice to throw a shot in every now and again. But I think the challenge for us is it's a try out every day, and if you want to be a part of our group in May, you need to be a part of every day and make yourself better, make our team better, and that's basically the process for us this year.
Now, I guess last couple questions here. How have you yourself changed as a coach since assistant coach in 08-09 and kind of taking over the head coaching role a couple years after that? Do you look at that? Do you measure your personal success and your personal growth?
Well, success, no. The growth, yeah. I mean, I've changed a ton. I think probably having a kid was the big change. I've relaxed and mellowed out quite a bit. I think we're just at a point now where we've seen enough games and we know anything can happen. Nothing surprises us anymore. So we just sit back, work with our guys, don't worry about other people or officials or anything else. We just do what we do and the results will come.
Maybe actually leading in from that, I know you're a guy that's a big fan of the AJHL and just the direction that junior A hockey has gone, and as you mentioned, going to NCAA and developing there. Can you just maybe summarize what, in your opinion, in your mind, what the level of junior A hockey has become in the CJHL and especially in the AJHL now as to where it has been maybe in the past 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I think the league's changed a lot. I mean, I look at the league 10 years ago and there was a lot more fighting, there was a lot more physical play. I don't think this style of play is anything like it is today. I think some of our good teams we've had would be horrible teams 10 years ago. Too small, too much time with the puck, too much skill, and the game's in a great place right now. I like where it is. I think there's still enough bite to it. There's still enough, although Tortorella disagrees with that. I like where the junior A game is right now, and I think we just need to continue to push our guys to want to be better.
All right, well, I guess we'll finally end with this one now. When it comes to streaks, your team is no stranger to that. You mentioned at this point in time in recording towards the end of October on a pretty decent streak as it is. Do you look at things like that? Do you look at that and kind of try and set goals and break records? Is it hard not to look at those things?
For me, it's easy not to look at it. I think for our players, we're just trying to have them in the mindset that if you win all these games in a row and you lose 4 straight in the playoffs, nobody really cares. So day by day for us, we need to get better. We need to lose games. I think obviously the first game of the year showed us how much we could learn, how much better we could get from losing. Not that you ever want it, but I think you need it. And the streaks for me, they're not a big deal.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you joining us today. Thanks so much. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Right on. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for watching episode 4 of the Canalta Hotels AJHL Coaches Show on behalf of Jordan Miller, camera guy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.